tech bros, we are taxis, tech bros, big people. So just help us, please. Right, so that people that will come after us won't have to walk to the front to get a seat. So please, there's a seat in front of you. Please just help us move forward. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if it's clear. Okay, yeah. So please just help us move forward. Don't be shy. Just help us move forward. Thank you very much. Thank you so 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 much. I know some of us like back seats. I don't know, from school days, just back seats. There's something about staying at the back. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so okay, thank you very much for stepping forward. So can anybody help us with the theme of the event? Anybody? Event? So the event on Tix, I decided to come for the event. I was like, wow, that's interesting. So, but I'm sure some of us, maybe you were invited, you saw the flyer somewhere, and you saw the theme of the event. So I don't know, anybody want to help us with the theme of the event? Okay, thank you very much. So I don't know, I might need somebody to help. So please tell us your name, what you do. Right. Yeah, maybe you work for Perplexity or something. Just let us know. Right. So let's know quickly so that we can be your friend ASAP. All right. So I think you want to say something. I'm sure some people are not aware of the team. Some people don't even know why. They're just okay. There's a meetup. Let's just come and just have some good time. Yeah. So your name, what you do, where you work.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good
It's
morning.
working.
Yeah, it's working.
All right. I'm
Is he
Larry.
working? He's working. Okay.
All right. I'm Larry. So the theme of the event is work.
So you didn't tell us where you work now. I want to know Google,
Okay.
Facebook, where?
No, no, no.
Just okay. Ah, you
Let's
said no, no,
say
no, no. you did doubt yourself.
no, 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 no. The thing is, I
All
would
right.
call myself like an upcoming developer. So
Oh,
because
awesome.
I'm still learning JavaScript,
Okay.
and I'm also a crypto trader.
Okay.
So that's what I do. Yeah. So the theme of the event is work, life, and AI.
Work life and AI. Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys. Can we jam our hands together for him? Okay, so I would just like to ask like random questions. So just want to get to know us before we move into some other serious stuff, right? Hmm. So I might call people randomly. Like I said, just be relaxed. So it's not don't be tense, right? So just tell me the craziest thing you've seen AI done or do so far. Craziest thing you've seen AI do. Craziest thing you've seen. I mean when you were like, wow, mado, mado. Somebody say blood of Jesus. Just anybody? Alright, so please help him with the mic. Or maybe just tell us your first experience with AI, right? And how it was and how you felt. Right. Maybe developer, product designer, anything. Yep, so let's have you. Your name, where you work, Google, Facebook, Amazon. Let us know, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Ah, engineer, they said the mic is not working, so maybe you help us with the mic. Do we need to change the mic?
Sound check.
Craziest thing you've seen AI do. Wow. Ah. Oh, you know what? Maybe just use my mic. Wow. Just
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Sound.
Hi, my name is Kabab Adelakun. I'm a talent acquisition specialist. I work with Omni Retail Africa. Kabab Adelakun. I'm a talent acquisition specialist here. I collect the right talent to my business. I work with Omni Retail Africa. So basically, my first experience using AI was the first job I got 2023. I was trying to see how this can help me build a good PowerPoint presentation. So I was given a case study to work on. So I used the right prompt on the AI, ChatGPT precisely. So and
Sound.
interesting enough, ChatGPT helped me to create a good presentation slide. So from there, I used that same slide to enhance the modality of my presentation with the business, and with that, it helped me to scale up, and I was able to get the job then 2023. So
Get the job. Wow. The AI that did it for you, do it for me. Sorry, I'm still with Tema. Sorry. All right. Okay. There was a question that was coming to my mind. Yes. So how many of us
Sound.
used AI this morning?
Sound check.
This morning, you used AI this morning. Confess, confess, confess. Don't lie. Anybody? Or maybe you used it yesterday. Maybe it's still early. Today, yesterday. Wow. Tomorrow. Okay. So like AI has come to stay. But how many of us feel like we can't do without AI? Is it possible? Do you feel that way? Okay, how many of us have gotten there? You just feel you can't do without AI currently. Like maybe you're trying to draft a mail or write a mail or do something. The first thing that comes to your mind, AI, ChatGPT. What do you think about this? Help me fine tune this guy to fit into the.
Sound.
I know sometimes I think I saw somewhere. So the person used AI to do something, and AI sometimes they'll put things in bracket, and I think AI even put a recommendation below it, like feel free to do. So the person just copied, like wow, the person, I'm sure the person was amazed by it. The person just copied and pasted it. And while everybody was reading, like wow, feel free to add. Wow, so AI has come to. So how many of us feel like you can't do without AI? Or have we even gotten there yet? Or are getting there?
Sound.
We're very close.
Sound.
Okay, so how many of us use Claude AI here? Claude AI, Gemini, Groks. Have people don't use Grok? Oh, wow. It's still what? Oh, okay, yeah, true, Twitter. Okay, X. No, it's not Twitter again. X now. Okay, Perplexity. Okay, how many of us have even subscribed for these guys? Don't lie. Okay, like AI has come to stay. See, we still have some very holy people. This one, they are scared of using AI. All right, so welcome once again to Temai Loop Event 5.0. So very quickly, we'd just like to play a video of how far we've come with Temai Loop Event. So, Father Ray, please you help us with the video. So, enjoy. Thank you. Let's clap now. Let's clap now. Let's clap now. We don't try. We don't try. We don't try. Can we jam our hands together for Temai? Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fadari, for that. So very quickly, I would like to bring up the Chief Technology Officer of Temai, Mr. Awe Ayomide. Ayo Awemide.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Now, I know it rained this morning, so it's sort of cold. But please indulge me. So, good morning, everybody. All right, thank you very much. I don't know. I'm really excited to see everybody's face. Where is Dolapo? Dolapo is sitting here. What are you doing at the back? All right. I'm really excited to be here this morning, and I hope we are also. Thank you for coming. Welcome to Loop by Temai. Maybe I will give a short background to what Loop is. So, sometime in 2020, myself and Bolade Emmanuel, who is the CEO, we're just talking and realized that we're building for developers, right? And while doing that, we realized that the people that, so let me put it like this, the people that really matter in some of these companies, right, are actually people who are actually building the products for these companies. We felt like sometimes it's easy to miss out on those people, seeing that those are the key people. To be honest, the guys who are the builders are really the key people. We felt like it was important for us to have a community where we can keep close to these guys who are the key people, who we see as the key people within this within these companies, right? And create that community where we all can come, relate with one another, share ideas, just talk through what we are building, and even see opportunities, right? Also change the mind, so for instance, you might have maybe like a mindset of how you feel like something should be, how you are building or something, and from just having like a chat or a meaningful conversation with somebody in here today, right, that can be just that big break that you have, that you need, in your own development journey. So I like to see Loop more of as a closed, you know, a closed gathering sort of, right, where you come, we talk on certain pressing topics, and most importantly, you are able to meet with 1, 2, 3 people, who you don't know. The person that you might be talking to might just be maybe the lead engineer in one company, and you are looking for a way to exit your current company. So but on a lighter note, right? I'm just saying that like the most meaningful parts beyond all the talks you would hear today, the panel session, it's the conversation that you have with the guy sitting right next to you, the conversation you have with the person sitting behind you or in front of you, right? Really, really, that's what make up the Loop community. And we are dealing with a very interesting topic today: work, life, and AI. And I'm sure that we have like powerful panelists, for instance, for the AI session, and people taking other sessions as well. I'm very much prepared, and I mean, I'm ready to learn a lot today. They say I'm on the panel, but I'm wondering what I am doing there. I just want to hear these guys speak and hear everyone speak. And let's just be curious. Let's be curious. Let's be open, willing to learn. And most importantly, if you are shy, try not to be shy. Talk to that person sitting next to you. Talk to that person behind you. Talk to that person in front of you. That is how you would really, really benefit, from this program or from this Loop meetup. Once again, I also want to thank my, my friends, my panelists for also, deciding to do this with us today. And thank you also for also coming. Please, like I said, I don't want you to just come and mark time again, here today. What's really important here is you see that person beside you, even if for instance, that brother, or I said brother now, the guy that is frowning beside you, just look at him and shake his hand. No, yes, you, brown shirt, yes. What's his name? Exactly. That's why we are here, right? So my point is like, let's do that. Let's be open. Let's be free. You see, we are not so much here, and that is the idea behind it, right? So that we can interact, with one another and keep the conversation going beyond this place, right? Those are the people that we need here today. Thank you very much. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can we join my hands together for City of Termite? Okay, thank you very much. So I think we should just quickly do what he said we should do. All right, so let's just look at your neighbor, ask for the person's name, get to know the person, your name, where you work, what you do. So don't be shy. So if you are shy, maybe the person sitting beside you is already your friend. So look to the person behind you, look to the person in front of you. So ask for the person's name, what the person does. Oh. I like this. I like this. Yeah. So keep asking, keep talking. So that job you're looking for might just be in that person's hand. So just talk. Don't be shy. Some people say a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Yeah. So, so please. Shake you once again. How you doing? My name is What's your name? Richard. Nice to have you. Oh. Okay, thank you very much. So please, in the course of the event, so let's just keep trying to get to know one another. So please, you can even exchange contacts. Don't be scared. Collect the person's contact, the person's LinkedIn handle, just Instagram, anywhere you guys want to meet. Yeah, all right. So we'll be moving to the next part of the event. So are we together? Now I can't even stop people again. Okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. So, yeah, finish. Yeah, just conclude quickly. Conclude quickly. Collect the number. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. So I think we're done. Abi, you've gotten the person's number. All right. You know the person's name already. Thank you very much. Okay. So like Awe said, so I want us to just have the mind that we want to learn something. Just learn one or two things today. And so just be ready, just be curious, and be ready to learn. And I'm hoping every one of us is going to learn something today. So I don't know if it has crossed your mind. Sometimes I just think about it. So are we together? All right. Okay. Okay. Sometimes I just think about it, right? How do they even build these things? Like, how do they build these things? Just look at ChatGPT for instance. Like, it looks like magic. Like, how did you get here? How do we even get here? How is this thing so smart? How many of us have thought about it? This one we don't use, we just use. Is it working? It's working. Is it getting the job done? As long as it's getting the job done, we don't mind. Right? But have you ever thought about how did they build it? How is this thing so smart? It's Claude AI. You drop in the line of code, the guy just generates, and it's just like, wow. Like, how are you reasoning so fast? So it's really amazing. And the truth is, people have done a lot, right? A lot of people have sacrificed for us to get to this point. Lives, a lot of things have been sacrificed, right? I was reading something recently. I don't know how many of us know the godfather of AI. I think I was watching a video of him. I think his name is Jeffrey, is he Hinton or something? Yeah, Hinton. So he was saying something very interesting. He's currently 77 years. And he said, so I think initially he was talking about how he's scared of how AI is advancing and how things have progressed. And he's scared that AI will be smarter than human beings very soon. I think they are smarter. No, just look at human beings have control over them. Sometimes AI save the cook beans. How many of you have used AI to write a code and maybe AI now wrote rubbish, now to the AI, check this thing, and AI is like, oh sorry, oh my bad. Right? But it was saying something very interesting that we're getting somewhere that AI is going to be smarter than human beings, and it will be very difficult for us to even control them. So I was even watching on that video, some guys were running some tests. So I think they had about, so the guy wrote, the company, they wrote a code to shut down the AI. That when they pass that particular code or run that particular script on the AI machine itself, it should shut down the operation. Interestingly, I think they ran it for like, I don't know, I can't remember so let's just say 10 times. I can't remember the exact figure. So they ran it for like 10 times. So 7 out of the 10 went very fine. When the AI machine saw the script, it shut down. But the 3 other times, do you know what the AI did? The AI by himself edited the script. I'm not lying. This is not film trick. This is not an Nigerian movie. Like the AI edited the script, right? Edited the script and did not shut down. And they were like, wow. So by the time they ran again, they wrote that script again, ran it again. This time around, it had a higher percentage of failure, right? And what the AI now did this time around, it's modified the code in itself and now even wrote a code for the future AI. That, you know what? So the way it now wrote the code, but just explain that the way the AI now configured the code was that it was now telling the future AI that these guys might want to shut you down, right? Peradventure, you see any kind of script like this, this is what you should do to make sure you're not shut down. This is not film trick. This is not American movie. This is real, right? So, and I think that was the fear of Godfrey Hinton. He was just saying, you see now AI is going to take over, and we'll get to a point where we might not be able to control it because the guy is moving very fast. Like, you see the videos people are doing. I mean, also do a Nigerian video that this guy posted. What's his name? This tech, what do they call them? YouTube content creators. What do they call the guy? Is it Fisayo? Yes. Is it Fasudo or Fisado or something? Fisado. Sorry, pardon me. Right. So he posted a video of using Veo 3, the new Google AI video generator. Right. Amazing stuff. It looked so real. The precision, the cowbell nylon on people's shop. Like, this is amazing. So we're getting to a place wherein it's very difficult to tell the difference between a truth and lie, right? In fact, if you're not careful enough, you might just assume and conclude. Yeah, back to my Jeffrey Hinton, right? So Jeff Ritchie was saying something that just got my attention. He said he has spent 50 years of his life. He's 77. Spent 50 years of that's from like 22, right? 50 years of his life researching and working on AI. So that would even call him the godfather of AI. So a lot of people have worked on AI. People like Alan Turing, John McAfee, and some other bad guys, right? And they also call him fathers of AI, but they call him Godfather. So they are fathers, but he's the Godfather, right? Because he had a lot of input on neural networks, deep learning, and many other things, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that, so he said something very interesting. He spent 50 years of his life. So they were just showing him like flashback of when he was in the university researching, and he was just amazed at the brain. He was just studying the brain. Like, wow, this is why these guys can break into all this. You find very few Nigerians crazy about things like this. We would just like to use sometimes, and maybe modify or build on what has been made available to us. But this guy spent 50 years of his life researching. So I was just asking myself, does this guy have a family? Does he even have a life? And what's he doing? Like, you spent 50 years to even break through into all of these things, right? So many times we find many guys, successful story, break new grounds, do a lot of interesting stuff, right? But their life is very interesting. You see why all those Oyibo people just fall into depression. So then after they just do one amazing thing, the guy will just say, I'm feeling depressed. And next thing, we go and take pill. And you hear, wow, this mad engineer just passed away. Wow, he was successful, but he passed away, right? So I'm just saying, so many times, even as engineers and as tech-savvy people, tech enthusiasts, we get so involved with our work, and many times we don't also have this work-life balance. And it can really affect, because it's not just about writing code, it's not just about building products, it's not just about consulting, it's not just about selling your product. There's still other aspects of our life. There's family. That's one thing we have in Africa. We have family, right? You're able to interact with people. You're not just building, right? So very quickly, I would like to bring up my own Oga, right? So she's the head of People and Culture in Temai. So so she's my own Oga. So everything I'm doing right now. So wait, now make I call your name now. She just all right. So just go back in. So please, as I'm calling her, just jam your hands together for her, right? So wait. So today I'm doing this, right? So she's the head of People and Culture. So maybe some places they call it HR, but in Temai we call it head of People and Culture. She's for people and the culture, right? So those appraisal stuff, all those good things. So please, you guys should help me, right? Help me this moment. Please, Toby, just go back again so you can step forward. So just help me, just jam your hands together for her. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring up the head of People and Culture, Temai, Toby Soyombo, aka Tobeso. Jam your hands together for her. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. All right, cool. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Good. So I have been asked to sort of speak to you today about work-life balance. So it's a concept that when I got the topic, I was just a bit like, oh gosh, here we go again. Because it's something that either resonates with you or is a concept that you feel does not necessarily make sense, right? When you think about it and when you put it in practice. So my topic is just thinking about this in the context of whether it's actually a myth or a mystery. So that's the way that I decided to crouch it. Can I centralize myself? Where is the central? Is it right here? Okay, but you're not going to see that. Oh, stand on the other side. Okay. Is that better? All right, cool. All right, so next slide, Toby, please. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about, what exactly the concept of work-life balance is. So I'll take a reflection question, and then we'll talk about work-life integration, do a quick reality check, and then a few AI tools that we can use to balance it all, and then just conclude the discussion. So I've been told that my time has been slashed in half, so I'm just going to go through this very quickly, but try to make it as engaging as possible as well. So I guess for starters, how many of you feel like you have your life figured out? Just by show of hands. So all of you here, you don't really know what's happening in your life. Not even one person. Okay, do you feel like the different parts of your life, right? You have control over them, the different aspects. So it could be work life, it could be, I don't know, going to the gym, 3 times a week. It could be your family life. Like, do you feel like there's one piece that you have where it's like you having, control over that piece? Okay, what part would you say? Is there a mic? Cool. All right, yeah, we can have one on both ends. There's somebody there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah, so I think for me, right, it's the fact that I'm kind of like in full control of my time. So
Okay.
what does that mean? So basically, number one, I think I've told myself that I'm never going back to the office anymore. For starters, yeah. So
Alright.
and yeah, and that's since 2020. I
So
don't
that's
think.
you reclaiming your time. It's
Yeah.
you not going to the office.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one. And then for that has given me the opportunity to prioritize health over work. So
Fantastic.
I started going to the gym.
Okay.
I started
We can see the results.
I started sleeping better. So yeah, that
Okay.
part of my life has been figured out, and I think
Nice.
I want to keep it that way.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for sharing. All right, anybody else? Anybody else? It's not your full life, as in an aspect of your life that you have figured out. You have, what would you say? Work. You have work figured out. Please give him the mic, give him the mic, give him the mic. Please tell the people.
Okay, so
Can we get your first name and then you can.
Yes, sorry. My name is Oyin Dolapo.
All right, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So I think it's work for me.
Okay.
Okay, not that I get to complete all the work that I have to do,
Okay.
but I think I'm at a place where I'm able to understand how much I'm able to do,
Mm-hmm.
given time constraints and all the other things that I have to do. So to a very good extent,
Right.
I have a hang of what needs to be done when and how, and I typically usually will meet it. So what
Okay.
what the opportunity cost for that is I have to cut off a lot of other things.
Okay.
So for example, outings, I spend a lot of time in the house,
Okay.
and when I'm out, I'm out.
Mhm.
When I'm out, I'm also working.
When you're outside,
Yeah, so
outside.
which is
Okay.
why, just jump a bit, which is why I think that work-life balance is something that we, because again for me, work and life, it's a continuum that we continue to do.
Fantastic. All right, thanks for sharing that. Very interesting perspectives. Toby, can you go to the next slide, please? All right, so this just basically says that juggling it all can look different from person to person. Like you can see, we have two different examples of, one person who has this aspect of their life figured out, and for another person, it looks, a different way. So it's important for you to find a balance that works for you, because everybody is unique in terms of the goals, the needs, and the well-being, of each person or of each individual. So this sort of brings me to my next point, where I feel like for work-life balance, it's something where you need to be able to prioritize what's important to you. If it's work, then how do you center your life around your work? So like for him, there are trade-offs, right? He's not going to be outside every other day because he has work to do. He has timelines to meet. So how does he engage in that work and meet those timelines, right? Without necessarily having to forego being outside. So sometimes he said he's outside, but he's still working. So he doesn't necessarily have to forego his outside life, in order for him to meet his timelines. So for me, I feel like there's also an argument for whether or not work-life balance is in the hands of your employer or your HR, or it's an individual responsibility for each person. So I think, by show of hands, do you feel like it's a responsibility for yourself in order to, like, in terms of how you define what work-life balance means for you, or do you think it's largely on your employer to sort of structure things for you and figure this out? So employer, hands up. Okay, we have a few hands. And then individual. Some people are not even confident. So, okay, for the part of the employer, the guy in orange put up his hand. Can you tell us a bit more about why you think that's the case? Just your first name and why, it's fine.
My name is Omobowale. So the reason
Nice
why
to meet you.
I believe employers should be responsible for work-life balance is if they want productivity, if they want that service that they render, or if they want to achieve their goal, they need to create an environment that will be it's their responsibility to create an environment that will be favorable to their employees. So yes, that's what I chose.
Okay. All right. And from the side of individuals, can somebody take that? There were a lot of you now. You don't remember again. Do you want to go again? Okay.
Okay, very quickly. I think at the end of the day, I agree that there's a balance to it, but largely you will decide, you will determine how you spend your time, and again, I think so. It boils down to how much you are able to negotiate. So your employer, they said the reward for good work is more work, which means that when you demonstrate capacity, your employer wants to saddle you with more responsibilities.
Right.
So it's your responsibility to know where your cutoff is and be able to communicate that with your manager and your employer so that they know that, see, I'm good, I know, but you know what, I can't take more now.
Yeah.
Because I need a little bit more time for myself.
Right.
To be able to balance things out.
Cool. So I'm not trying to like sway anybody's thought process around this. Like, I understand, from the side of the employer, creating an environment that allows you to thrive and do your best work. But to a large extent, I feel like it's based off of your individual capacity and your ability to engage and manage your stakeholders. And also manage the different other parts of your life that are important or that are priority to you, right? I'll take, for example, for Termite, one of the conversations that has come up recently is just around how people feel like they can't take leave or take time off. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to my vacation time, I will work like my life depends on it, because I know that I need to put things in place or models in place for which my work can continue to run so that I can have that time off, or I can take that time off. So the action item here that I'm really just trying to communicate is, beyond you thinking that it's, your employer's responsibility, the onus is also on you as an individual, right? To be able to manage things, to be able to manage the people that you work with, or, your family, your whatever stakeholders you're dealing with, to be able to understand that, look, this is where I stop and this is where my limit gets to. And, in the instance where I'm not available, here's option B, or, here's how you can reach me, and that kind of thing. So I think, stop thinking about this in the lines of it's the employer's responsibility, and make it more a joint, responsibility between yourself and how you engage and manage your stakeholders in your absence, or, whatever the case may be. So I saw this video. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Steve Bartlett. Yeah, so he interviewed Emma Grede, who is a serial entrepreneur. So she is, the Kardashians, yeah? So she is one of the people that has helped develop some of their most successful businesses, like Kim Kardashian Skims, clothing line. So she's responsible for that. Kris Jenner has this biodegradable, like safe, what's it called? Like cleaning agents. It's called Safely. So she's also responsible for, helping to champion that. So on this podcast, Steve has her as a guest on, and they talk about work-life balance. And one of the questions that he asks is, when people, that work for you ask you questions about, what it's like to work in your company, what's the one question that you get where it's like, you're really thrown off by it? And she said, work-life balance. When she gets a question in an interview where the candidate is asking her, so what does your company have to offer me, in terms of work-life balance? She's like, immediately, she almost like wants to get out of that interview, because it's your responsibility. Like, I'm going to provide you with all the benefits. I'm going to provide you with flexible work. She says, or she alludes to the fact that sometimes she's on the beach with her family. So it doesn't mean that she's not there with her laptop, but what you see on Instagram is like she's probably posting that she's, somewhere on vacation and the likes, but you don't see that she's still, constantly building. And guess what? If she needs 2 minutes where her child runs up to her and asks for something, like, she can do that. She can respond to her child. So she's able to juggle everything. Yes, she has a shit ton of money, excuse my French, but at the end of the day, family and that dynamic is priority to her, and she has been able to manage, having 4 children, alongside building these really successful businesses. So I did want to put that video on there so that I don't know if you guys get the resource after, but you can watch it and just see like what the conversation is like, you know, around whose responsibility it is and how to think about this beyond the construct of work-life balance and more about work-life integration. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. If you can go to the next slide. Yeah, so you can just hit next. Yeah. All right, so Q, work-life integration. This simply means blending of our personal and professional responsibilities. Work is simply one aspect of our lives. Our home, family lives, our community, our personal well-being are equally of priority. So beyond thinking about this as work-life balance, it's more work-life integration, so to speak. So your work is at the core of what you do, if that's the case for you. What are the things around that, you know, that are also of priority to you, and how do you juggle and manage all of those things? So I gave the example, somebody is on the beach, you know, possibly like doing flexible work. If that's where you get the most productivity by being outside of your home, then by all means, you know, make that happen. If you have family, you know, maybe like your optimal hours would be when your child is taking a nap, for example. So you time all of your meetings around that time, you know, just so that you are able to still be productive and not distracted. So here are some of the pillars that you can look into when you think about work-life integration. So there's your actual work, you know, which is what you do for a living, your 9 to 5, or if you're, you know, an entrepreneur like Emma Grady is. There's your health. So we've talked about exercise. We've talked about mental health as well and wellness. And then there's your faith and personal values. So this represents your spirituality and the values that drive who you are. And then there's your family and your relationships. So it's your nuclear family, friends, you know, networking events and communities like this one. So obviously you see the diagram on the left, which is sort of like a merge of everything, because you need to find a way to strike a balance, you know, between having all of these things be priority for you and also will not lead to burnout, you know, in your case. So next slide. All right, so this is a quick reality check. I found this really cool stat that said some studies suggest that as many out of 2 of 5 tech workers may experience burnout. Further, 42% of that data set said they might quit their job within the next 6 months. What do you guys think about this? How many of you are in tech? Everybody. Wow, okay. So do you agree with this metric? Or do you think there's something significantly different? You reckon it'll be 4 out of 5? Okay. Someone is saying it's probably 4 out of 5 tech workers that may experience burnout. How many people have experienced burnout before? What did that feel like? Did that feel like you didn't have your ducks in a row, so to speak? Or did you feel it for just a short period of time and then you were back at it? Did you have like a grace period where you had an opportunity to just think about how you can potentially manage this better or avoid this going forward? Okay, do you want to speak to... Can she get the mic, please?
Okay, hi. My name is Bridget.
Okay.
Okay, yes. So I work with Law Pavilion, right?
Okay.
And usually towards the end of the year,
Okay.
August, we usually have like NBA
Okay.
conferences, International Bar Association and all of that, IBA as well. So we are always working to ensure that we have products and features that we want to showcase during the conference. So from January to like May, you're occupied. Then you see May, June, July, like there's no resting time, and you're just. So what? When I joined the first year, it was murder. Like it was a lot, right? Everybody was like burnt out, and what I then did going forward was to ensure that, like from January, right, first quarter, we already have everything we want to take for NBA. If we're working on bugs, if we're going with a new feature, we have that time, and then we sign off those things, and then we start working towards them. And the funny thing is, there's always going to be new requirements before then. So what we try then to do is um, estimate and finish on time, so that when those new one come, we can just take them, so that by June, July, right, we're not as occupied as we should have originally.
Okay,
been.
so where did the burnout come in for you?
Oh yes, because the first time when I didn't know this, right, we had to work round the clock.
Right.
There was a time they had to even lodge us in the hotel, and we had to work.
That's a
all
scam.
day.
When they start booking hotel for you, you're in for it.
Do you get? So we kept working, even weekends,
Right.
midnight. You're always there, and everybody is complaining. Like, you're complaining to me. I'm supposed to like shoulder your complaint, and I'm also complaining to me.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so
Thanks for sharing that. All right, anybody else? I'm curious to now hear the perspective of how you bounce back or how you made a change to avoid burnout the second time. So anybody else want to share about burnout? I promise it's not a trick question. You can just feel free to. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Jude.
Hi,
I'm
Jude.
a software engineer.
Okay.
And I guess burnout for me was what's the word I'll call this now? It was a combination of a lot of things,
Okay.
right? The first time I ever experienced burnout, my body basically shut down for me. So I think it was a time when I had done quite a lot of things right after graduation, got into I didn't take time. I'd been working before I graduated, and so it was just like work continues,
Right.
right? You wore the gown, you took the pictures, and then you went back to work.
Right.
And I did that for maybe 2 full years,
Okay.
never taking holidays, and then my body just shut down. And so
Can I ask, were you like really senior or were you just starting out in those 2 years?
I think I was already senior because, again, I'd been working while I was in school. So it was almost like I'd worked kind of all my life,
Pretty
right?
much all your life. Okay.
And so by the time my body had shut down, my body chose to shut down for
Right.
me. And so how I decided to get out of it was finally choosing to pick specific times of the year where you need to experience, for lack of a better word, breeze on your face.
Right.
Right? Specific times in the year where I'd travel or just have a complete change of environment. And now I also take periods when, so I also work from home, which
Okay.
means for the most part, you get to see the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
And I think one way I started working around that was a change of scenery. So I could probably just go stay in a different environment. I mean, what's the word called again? Workstations and
Yeah.
all the rest didn't help.
Yeah.
Because it was basically, you're going back sleeping in the same bed and all
Yeah.
those sort of things. But I just noticed that change of scenery helps a lot. Breeze on your face, a different set of sheets, a different room to look at.
Yeah.
Kind of helps a lot and has you revitalized when you now get back into work. So yeah.
Okay, so for that component of yeah, I was gonna say that for some people that idea of flexible work or remote work might not apply. Obviously it's heavily dependent on your employer at the end of the day. So I think for me, the way that I sort of dealt with it was exactly what he said about change of scenery. I can be in a funk because I've literally been sat at my desk in my home from Tuesday to Friday, and maybe by Friday I'm just like, okay, I just need to work from a cafe. And I kid you not, I will meet all of the things that I needed to do the entire week just within that time frame when I've gone to work from a cafe. Just by taking myself to a different environment, entirely sort of helps with productivity. So I'm always, sort of pro hybrid arrangements because I feel like there's value in having people sort of interact with each other, even if it's like for once a week or twice a week at the very least, just so that you have that human interaction and not just constantly, be behind a screen. And yeah, for some people it works, for others it doesn't. But, personally, like my preference will be to have that, one interaction in the week, and then for the rest of the week, there's flexibility around like where you can work from, depending on what your workspace requirements are and what's ideal for you. So you wanted to add something to that?
Somebody who doesn't have money to change shit.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, so I think you sort of mentioned it already. I think that's where hybrid comes to help.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you go to work, you talk to your colleagues, and then it also helps.
Yeah.
But one thing that also works for me is to deliberately shut down. Okay, so last year I had an episode. I've had a burnout before, like 4 years ago. Then last year was really bad. That every part of my body told me, and I was hospitalized for a week. And then I realized that, I could have managed myself better.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't really that there wasn't that time. It was just that I wasn't cognizant of my body and all of that. So what I do now is I travel a lot, and what that means is that there's a lot of stress. Sometimes I do like 4 trips in a week.
Right.
Can be very stressful. So what I do is when I get to wherever I'm going to, I take the first day. Nothing is important. I'm just going to rest, And then when I'm around, right, what I do as well is I have like a time in the day when what I'm just doing is maybe taking a walk, watching Netflix, talking to friends, and then I go back to work, right?
Okay.
So that sort of helps your body to also relax, and you are not just working
constantly on, switched on, Okay, that's very helpful. That's a useful tip. And I also think that, to your point, not everybody has that luxury, of either leaving the country or, taking time off. But I'm just curious, why do people think that we wait till we get hospitalized before we actually try to prioritize what's important to us? Why do you guys think so? The culture we're born into. So I think, I agree. And then to an extent, I also feel like it's back on each individual person, trying to figure out what exactly is priority and what is important to you, right? Sometimes you come into this tech space and it's, for lack of a better word, you're always switched on, to be honest, Monday to Sunday. Depending on your roles, depending on your seniority, in terms of the level and all of that stuff. But I think when you leave this space today, you need to go back to the drawing board and just like sit with yourself for a second and write down what exactly is important to you. If it's your work, then, literally just draw a circle and write work in the middle. And then what are the other things that are important to you around or outside of that work? And then you try to figure out how to leverage tools, how to leverage technology, how to leverage AI, which is, what we're talking about today, in order to sort of simplify some of those things. And that should hopefully help you create, more of a time buffer that you are able to use to either rest up, or do other things that are, of interest or like of hobbies to you, or that are hobbies to you. And you can hopefully have more time to do some of those things. For time off in particular, for, those are the people that are employed, I always say, build out your handover notes like it's an actual project or it's a responsibility. I do not want to be contacted when I am on a beach in Mexico. So my handover notes is like, the company is dying like tomorrow, like there's no saving us. That's when you contact me. You engage, obviously beyond putting it on paper, the people that you're actually handing over to, you need to have conversations with them. You can't just bring it on them and be like, I'm going to leave tomorrow and this is my handover notes. It doesn't work like that because they'll still contact you. Obviously there'll be, different circumstances where there's an emergency or somebody needs to contact you, you're a key man and, all of that stuff. Yeah, that's fine. They can reach out to you on those one-off occasions. But generally speaking, you actually need to be able to switch off when you take time off, and so that you can reset. So when you come back, hopefully you're a better version of yourself, and you can take on the rest of the period in which you're required to work for. So just, like I said, if there's any one thing that you take away from this, is just sit back, sit alone with yourself, draw a little circle and write the one thing that's important to you and start to build out your life around that thing so that you don't lose, a sense of who you are or lose a sense of all the other things that are equally of priority to you. So how do we beat the stats? Next slide, please, Toby. So there are a lot of things that you can use AI to do, and I think Toby has done a pretty good job of just like starting the conversation and some of the tools that you can leverage as well, just around these different buckets of your life. So time management and productivity, focus and well-being, personal growth, and then your family and personal life, So for family and personal life, it's smart assistants, like your Google Home, Alexa, and the likes. For your personal growth, LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, this ChatGPT. Please, at least if you are copying it, right, remove the parts that shows that you've actually contacted ChatGPT for something. It's very important. And I think also beyond that, it's, some of the stuff that you reach out to ChatGPT for, you need to be able to bring it home. ChatGPT, yes, will give you baseline thought process, ideology about the thing that you're, asking it. But then the context of the company, or the context of the environment in which you are using this information to sort of build out a slide or a presentation around, or create a document about, only you has that information. So you can't literally just copy paste from there and think that sort of solves everything. You guys will talk about the technicalities of that stuff, because this is where I draw the line, these slides. And then focus and well-being, there's Rescue Time or Freedom, there's Calm, which is sort of like a meditation app that you can leverage. And then finally on productivity and time management, you guys are all familiar with some of this stuff, because I'm hopeful that this population is at least familiar with some of these tools. Next. Yeah, and then finally, like I said, AI doesn't replace work, but acts as a co-pilot for life. It helps reduce your overload and improve your focus. It creates more space for what matters, and whether that's health, family, hobbies, or rest, whatever that looks like for you, you should be able to leverage all of these tools, technology, processes, to be able to improve the value of life that you live. So that's it from me. Any questions? Oh dear, that's not a question. I didn't envision my presentation ending with a cry, but cool. Thank you guys for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the program today.
Please help me clap for my Oga, please. Clap for her, please. Okay, so thank you very much, Toby. Thank you very much, Toby. So they'll just help us. So we're moving to the panel session soon. Okay. Yes, I think I would just like to say some things about the work-life balance. Balance. The truth is, work not the finish. There will always be work. There's one thing I always tell myself, that the truth is, if something bad happens to you, the company will keep moving. How many of us believe that? If you fall sick, the company will not stop. Oh my goodness, Toby is sick. Can we all go to the hospital and be with him till he recovers? Never. HR, please just go and check up on Toby and make sure it's fine. The work continues. So the truth is, we just have to strike the balance somewhere and find a way of putting all of this together. I think I was reading a post about, I think, an Indian. I don't know how many of us saw that on LinkedIn, working in one of the companies. I don't call their name. All right. Yeah, and I think she was trying to prove herself, prove a point. I think she just finished school or so, and she was trying to prove a point to the company. She worked so much till things were really crazy. And she also had maybe hostile bosses at the office, and things didn't really go well, and she died. She passed on. And the company is doing great right now. It's as if nothing happened. They've moved on. If you see their revenue at the end of the year, it's massive, right? And you've gone so soon. Wow. So please, let's just try to find a way to strike the balance of all of this, right? Yeah. Okay. So this panel session is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. The topic is AI will take your job. Say amen. So AI will take your job. AI will take your job. Hey. Okay. So the topic is AI will take your job. So I'm going to call in some distinguished fellows to help us pull light or shine more light on this topic. Well, let me say something. I think AI has come to stay, and I was working in Bagada, Phase 2 Estates. I was trying to get something at a shop. Then I saw one Aboki guy with one other guy, like two Abokis on the road. Interesting conversation they were having. I think I was trying to type something on his phone. And the other guy now said, "Cut this your English, no day, okay, oh, use ChatGPT." I had to turn and say, "What?" Say, Aboki said he's familiar with ChatGPT. And guy was like, your English no day okay. Use ChatGPT. It go help you put the. I was like, wow, this is. I just smiled. And I continued walking. Right. So AI has come to stay, and a lot of interesting thing happening with AI. I think for me initially I didn't agree to the whole AI stuff. I just felt it was just overhyped. AI, oh, writing code, I'm a software engineer, so I was like, oh, AI. Until I had a conversation with somebody, and people was like, you know what? Do you know there's a platform you just need to just tell it what you want it to do, and tell it that okay to build a website, and in 5 seconds, or let's say 5 seconds, let's say in a minute or 2 minutes, the website is done. I was like, you're whining, it's not possible. How is that possible? I was like, well, have you heard of Lovable? I said, Lovable, no. Okay, try it out, check it out. So I didn't check it out in the office. I said, let me get home first. When I got home, so I just started to do a devotional and put day. So I'm all right. And the next thing, in 2 minutes, I said, what? I was like, wow. So I tried something else. I just kept giving it different prompt. I just kept downloading it to me. And it told me, okay, you need to get the code. You need to go to the GitHub repo. Right, the codes are in React, and a lot of interesting stuff. And I was like, what? In like 5 minutes, the website is done. And maybe that's something you pay a web developer. One guy just, I'm a web developer. I design website. How long will it take you? 1 month. 1 month. Give me 1. 1 month is too much. 1 month is too much. I design website. How much will you collect? See, those days I used to collect 150, but now it's 300K. And I see begging the guy. You don't need to beg the guy again, no. Just go to Lovable and love up on yourself there. Right? And I was just thinking about it, like, wow, this is interesting. And I saw I saw something very interesting too. The guy was about to start a business. He didn't even contact any web developer. Just went to Lovable, designed the website. Beep. Put the website outside there. Right. Also have one of my friends, she was about to go for a pitch competition, and she was confused, so she reached out to me like, oh please, that she needs to put up a website and she doesn't know what to do, blah blah blah. The person developer she contacted, I slide her, blah blah blah. I was like, don't stress yourself. Have you heard of Lovable? And by the time I just said, okay, this was, by the time she sent me the link, I was amazed. Right? She didn't pay one dime. Nada. Right? So technology has come to stay. I mean, watch that video, Technology has come to stay. All right, so will AI take your job? Let's see. All right, so I'm going to be calling some distinguished persons. So, sorry, just pardon me. I'd like to read their portfolio so that you can hear them very well while they step forward. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, uncles and aunties, software developers, I'd like to bring up the stage. Okay, this person is the lead. Also, legal service and data protection officer at Cora, a pan-African payment company supporting local and global businesses with tailored payment solution. It plays a key role. Notice this will be all this background sound. All right. It plays a key role in Cora's expansion and licensing efforts across Africa, and is passionate about emerging technologies and their policy implications on the continent. He is the convener of Iwajo. I don't know if I pronounced it well. Iwajo, an AI research and development outfit amplifying African voices in global AI conversation, a Perplexity AI business fellow, blockchain enthusiast, an organizer of the 2025 LTB policy debate. So for people that know what LTB means, it means legal, I think legal tech bros. And this person is Oyin Dolako Olusesi. Nice. I like that sound. Hey, clap. Nice. Thank you. You're making this thing work well. Thank you very much. All right. This person is an AI and technical product manager with experience across fintech, e-commerce, and legal tech at Law Pavilion. She led the development of the Nigeria's first AI-powered Q&A feature for the legal sector, significantly improving user engagement and driving innovation in legal technology. And this person is Bridget Ofomhi. I feel you. All right. Okay. Okay. Some people have, right. Let me know what I want to say. Okay, all right. Okay, so this person is the co-founder and the CEO of Get Equity, a platform enabling access to private capital and fixed income investment across Africa, with over a decade of experience spanning engineering and venture building. The person is committed to expanding access to capital markets and driving financial innovation. And this person is Jude DK. All right. Please, I think you might need to start praying this song from now, the background song, because this person is my Oga too, right? Please. I'm doing all of this so that they will appraise me well. No. The song is too much. It's too much. I might lose my job, please. Take it low. All right. So this person leads the technology powering. So this person leads the technology powering Africa's leading customer engagement platform, with extensive experience in software engineering. They shout. Cloud infrastructure and AI-driven product development. This person is the CTO at Temai, Ayomide Awe. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you guys for helping my work at Temai. Thank you for helping my appraisal. I really appreciate it. It's a good time working with you guys. All right. Okay, now to moderate this session is a product manager at Temai, focused on building meaningful solutions where technology meets human behavior, with a background in philosophy and a strong product mindset. He leads AI initiatives at Temai and is passionate about automation, personalization, and intelligent customer engagement. No other person but Moses Afolabi. All right. AI will take your job. I don't know if it will take your job, but let's hear what the panels will have to say. So, Moses, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. AI will not take my job in Jesus' name. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. AI discussion is something that I always find very fascinating, right? And I've been dragged and undragged on Twitter for that. But yeah, I think we should just get right into it. And I think I'll start with Jude, right? And I think we sent this topic to you guys a couple of months ago or a week ago. And I would really love to know what came to your mind when you heard AI will take your job.
Yeah, I will not take my job in Jesus' name.
Amen.
But I mean, I've been a software engineer for maybe 10 years now, and I think one thing that we've seen over and over and over again is that new technology comes that everybody swears is going to destroy everything. But what tends to happen is that new technology now becomes an enabler for a lot more things that you're able to do. Either making you able to do things faster or making you able to do things better. We can look at from even payment space. I remember back in uni, we used to have this thing called Turnitin, where they will make us submit our projects to just make sure we didn't plagiarize, right? And now, I remember, I think this was a couple of months ago, where someone on Twitter, someone was talking about how he recently met a couple of, I think his nephews or nieces. And then he was explaining to them about how, projects used to work in uni and all of that. And the person was confused, like, how is it that you were able to go through university without ChatGPT? How did that even work? And I thought of it, like, how did we actually go through school without ChatGPT? Because it would have made my life so much easier. But yes, would this take our jobs? I don't think so. I think what it will end up doing is enable you to do things faster. Like, for example, every single day of my life, I make use of Claude and ChatGPT at the same time. So I'm not very trusting of. I'm not very trusting, and so what I do is I try with this one and try with this one and see which one is better. Or sometimes I try with this one and then tell this one, this is what this other one says. So use it to refine it. I think the one thing that everybody is going to have to learn how to do is find a way to upskill yourself using these tools. Because the truth is, it has the capacity to leave you behind. I mean, 20 years ago, we had maybe people our parents' age who only cared about typewriters and didn't want to bother with learning how to use a computer or all of that. Now imagine if there are still people today that would say if they want to type, they only use typewriters, but they will never use computers. What job wants to hire that kind of person? So, will AI take your job? Maybe not. But does it have the capacity to? Yes, if you don't go with the trend, it will. Thank you.
Thank you. Sawe. Yeah, you're sitting on a team of about 20-something developers. So we want to know, do you think AI will take our jobs?
So
like I'm going to start a farm.
So, well, unlike Jude, right? I feel like Jude was a bit diplomatic in his answer. Me, I'll say yes. That's the honest truth. It just depends on what your job is, right? Oh, you can't hear me. So I said Jude was a bit diplomatic with his answer. Will AI take your jobs? I'll say yes, right? But I'll say it depends on what your job is. I think I'll leave it as that.
Okay.
So, Sela, think upon it.
All right. We'll be your DM on Slack. Let's know. Let's know the list of jobs. So let me. Yeah. Okay. Bridget.
Okay. Is it loud?
Sorry, can you hear from the back?
Okay. So I think I'm going to lean on what Jude said, and I'm going to pinch from what Awe said as well. So I think it's this way, right? AI will take your job if you are aware right now, right, with the wave. So if you're not doing the right things, right, to harness the power. Thank you. If you're not doing the right things, right, to harness the power of AI, then it will take your job. But if you're doing the right things and you know how to use it to reskill yourself or upskill yourself, right, then you'd be saved, right? So if you know you are in an environment or you're in a career path that is likely that AI will take your job, right? I think the best thing to do is to now see how you can upskill yourself and maybe just transform your role from, just, that basic JD to something more strategic. So once it's strategic, then you would be able to work with AI, just like in the presentation. That way AI becomes like a co-pilot and you'll be the main pilot. So yeah.
Over to you.
Okay, thank you. So I think that my position aligns with our position. So, but since he didn't give a backdrop as to why he said that, I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to lean on a few real-life examples that are currently happening now. So last month, Microsoft laid off about 6,000 people. June actually, this month, Meta sent a note to all managers that they should increase performance score and start preparing for laying off people below a particular performance grade. Last month as well, at a particular conference, Zuckerberg and Satya sat together at a conference, and then Satya says that about 40% of the entire code base of Microsoft at the moment is built by AI, and Zuckerberg says they're building a QA automation agent that is going to take over their entire QA automation at Meta. And by the way, some people were also laid off as well at Meta because Zuckerberg himself has taken over the project for building the Meta's AGI. That is foreign. So let me come back to here. I know personally 3 companies that have put a hold on hiring because of AI adoption. Now, when we talk about AI will take your jobs, what we think is that you are going to be laid off. That is one part of your job being taken. There is also the mobility question, which is that what options will be available for you to move up when people are leveraging AI? Let me conceptualize it. There are okay, so actually my voice is very loud, so I'll just increase it. Okay. So let me know when it gets too loud. All right, so I was saying that. Okay. So I was saying that. So let me also put it in a different perspective from a business conversation, because again, hiring is a contractual arrangement. So your company needs to have the money, see the need for you, for them to be able to hire you or retain you. We all agree to that. So if companies are building, if people are building startups that are doing 10 million, 1 million ARR in 12 months with just 6 people, then what is the need to have 200 people as we currently would do? So when we talk about AI will take your job, it's not just that they would lay you off. Even though that is also a prospect. Earlier this month, I was in London and I stumbled upon a conversation by a CEO of a company saying that by October, they would lay off 30% of their entire company workforce deliberately because they want to push the AI drive across the organization. So these are real life conversations. So now back to the question. Will AI take our jobs? The answer is yes. There's no romanticizing it. And I'm sure even Jude knows that. And I'm sure even Jude knows, right? That it is a basic business question. He is a CEO. So it's a conversation, he's a business owner. So it's a conversation of which one gives me more value at less money, less spend. AI does. Now, when we also, so just to wrap it up, because I don't want to jump into.
Go on.
So, when you also look at it from the perspective of, let me give you another real life example now. So last month, so 2 months ago, my friend came back, and 2 months ago was Easter, right? Yes, Easter. So my friend built an entire web application using Cursor AI over the Easter break, and I sat down. I'm like, bro, what's going on with me? So I decided as well, let me try it. So I subscribed $20, small money. And guess what? In 1 week, no code, I don't know anything, vibe coding. I built a website as well with the blog section. That is something that I would have paid, what, 500K, 600K to a web designer to do for me before. As a web designer lost his job or not? That's a potential 600K that has gone. So when we talk about will AI take our jobs, I think we oversimplify the conversation to think that someday they will tell you, Samod, you are hereby fired. AI has replaced you. No, it's not going to be as simple as that. It's going to be that the threshold has now been increased, and then realistically, only very few of us are smart enough to be able to compete with this AI at the level at which they are doing these things. By the way, you learn what? You sit down, you read a 500-page book in 3 hours, in 1 day, 2 days, right? And then you load a 500-page document into ChatGPT, and in 2 minutes, the guy has summarized everything. I'm a manager at my company. I had a presentation. I had been traveling. I was very tired. I'd forgotten. So they just reminded me that, guy, the meeting is in 30 minutes. And guess what? I was able to prepare my presentation, deliver a stellar, beautiful presentation, and it was AI that did everything. No EA would have been able to do that. So one EA has lost his job. So you see that when we talk about will AI take our jobs, it's a reality, and I think that AI will definitely take our jobs.
All right, thank you very much. Bridget, do you want to change your mind? Because I know, I know what she does, right? Where Bridget works. Sorry, can we hear me from the back? Of a particular product, right? So AI in relation to that product. We'll talk about that. And then the second thing would then be AI in relation to our job, right, which you've started. So AI in relation to the product, right, and I think CEO.
It helps me type faster. That's majorly what I use Cursor or VS Code for. It basically helps me type faster in the sense of the time I would have taken the autocomplete, the time I would have taken type all of these things out, perfect for me. But will you trust the fact that I would say, for example, connect to write out a function to connect to Flutterwave and process payments, and then I'll put my card inside? No, it's not possible. You can't. You won't vibe code that one for now. But is why I'll still say, or I'll still just hint on the fact that there used to be a time that if you, for example, now if you're a software engineer, and especially if you're a backend engineer and you don't know how to integrate to PlayStack or Flutterwave, everybody's going to look at you like you're crazy. But there was a time, 2016, in fact 2015, 2016, for you to be able to see if you could interact with like payment processors, if you knew how to integrate payment processors, you were hot cake in 2015. Because first off, the people we had were either QuickTeller or which was InterSwitch, or you had eTransact, or is it QuickPay, or there were like two other ones. And for every single one of them, the amount of documentation you will see. You see the payment. I mean, you're not the person paying now, right? But the amount of documentation you needed to see, you needed to handle, the way you needed to format callbacks was something that nobody left to just anybody, right? Back in like 2017, 2018, if you were DevOps, I remember when Kubernetes was this really crazy thing that only people who were blessed by God understood, right? And now it's Terraform, Pulumi. In fact, these days you just use Pass because who has that time, right? I think we are also getting to that point where quite a lot of things become mainstream. But even as things become mainstream, or as new technology comes, that makes a lot of things that before used to be so hard mainstream. There's now, every new technology comes with its own problem that needs to be solved. And so every new technology now comes with things that people now need to be specialized in. So yes, we're talking about AI from the side of us being users. But what about AI from the side of now the neural nets that need to be trained, the data that needs to be mined, how that data is mined, how it's cleaned. These are bringing up new, what's the word I'll call it? Yeah, it's bringing up new conversations, new jobs. Data mining is now a big thing, right? We're now back to artificial intelligence engineers if you understand how to write LLMs, right? I mean, for most people, it's I interact with Lovable, I interact with ChatGPT. But on the back end, it's you're building an LLM, you understand bag of words type of simulations, you understand convolutional networks, you understand neural nets, you understand how to write neural nets, you understand the mathematics involved in this, because everything still falls back to maths at the end of the day. So you have more people now who will go back to school to go and actually learn maths and actually focus on the maths aspect of this. And I mean, the more and more and more every new technology, I can probably guess that maybe in the next 10 years, we'll have another different panel like this where we're talking about will robots take our jobs? So the one thing that I would say is with every different or every passing technology, you have people who would need to upskill on those. When the internet first came out, when we're using dial-up modems, if you knew how to use the internet and browse for things. In fact, I remember we had uncles, aunties that they needed to get something done. Help me set up my Facebook account. Help me do this one. What's up? Now your parents are sending you emojis, and you're wondering where people learn all of these things. We have parents now that are also using ChatGPT, right? So I feel like with every evolution with technology comes where specialists are always needed. So the bigger question now is, are you looking at those things that would be specialized for the future? So in times when we're having AI conversations like this, what I would advise people is look towards what are these technologies that power this AI? What are the things that this AI can build upon? What are the technologies that would power these that you need to be specialized in that nobody can easily do? Because an AI, I mean, we're not yet at the point where the AI will write itself. We're not at the point where the AI will fetch its own data, right? And so it's instances like this that I would say people should look towards, find out what roles you can do. I remember, Awe and I were classmates, but I remember when I was trying to get into uni and I was talking to my father about computer science. Obviously, can't blame the man, right? Most of our parents also did. I mean, this was back, 2010, 2011. My father asked me, you're going to go and do what they're doing in Computer Village. It didn't consider the fact that paying much for school fees was worth it. To go and do something where you can just go to Computer Village, somebody will sit down and teach you what it is that they do. But now, I mean, everybody wants their child in tech. I can only imagine what cutoff mark now is for unis like that. But so, what I would say is this: just find out what are all these things that get people, or what are all these technologies that are coming into play or that power this AI. I mean, robotics is still going to be a thing in the next 10 years. So who knows, maybe move towards hardware, I don't know. But in all of these sort of instances, the major thing is do research on exactly what is coming. And for what is already here, what are the tools or what are the specialized aspects of these things that you might want to catch on to and you might want to learn. Thank you.
So over to I wanted to say something. Probably a lot of things.
Okay. So, I'm just trying to look at the array of jobs, right? But maybe let me start with this. Stop it. So a couple of years ago, maybe a long time ago actually, there was a time where they used to pay human beings to do calculation, right? Like actual calculation, you know. So like, what was your job? You're a calculator. And that was like many, many years ago. But today, you know, if I ask anybody, was 9 million times, you know, 925 billion, you know, we can simply punch a calculator on our phones, right? To do that. What am I trying to say? You see, when computer began to evolve, there was no longer need for, you know, those guys who were sort of human calculators again, right? And people started moving towards using computers, even though the first computer was as giant as probably this room, right? But people, you know, we moved from, or evolution happened basically from using actual human beings to do some of those calculations. And yeah, a computer probably that would take maybe 3-4 hours to actually, you know, do that type of calculation. But now within milliseconds, right, those calculations, you know, are happening now. What am I trying to say? Just as Jude said, every job sort of is at risk, right? Which was what I was trying to say earlier, but I didn't want to say too much. For instance, we have Vio, and Vio right now, I'm looking at Fadari. Vio right now, you know, I think I saw something on someone's WhatsApp now, where a particular company, they did like a short ad, 30 seconds ad, and that ad was generated with Vio. To be honest, like it was generated with Vio. So I'm now thinking, I'm like, so really, why do I now need to, you know, hire somebody that would, you know, hire somebody that would, or, you know, spend so much money to get like someone that will write a script and then sit down, you know, someone that will come and, you know, and all of that. But I mean, I'm just saying that for us to think, right? Or something like you mentioned, which was PRD. You know, as a product manager, maybe one special skill that you should have as a product manager is to write PRD. But today, I can guarantee you that maybe if so far I just need to, you know, give my ChatGPT a good, nice prompt, you know, it will write my PRD for me fine. My point is, what I'm trying to say is, like, we need to start thinking about, you know, the kind of value we bring in our jobs. And like Toby was saying something earlier on. Sorry, I like referencing things people say. I'm sorry. Toby was saying something earlier on, which was saying, oh, at a particular point, you know, you wanted to do website. Actually, at a particular point, people were paying hundreds of thousands. This was years ago, for just creating of websites, because you could design websites. You're a big boy. No, I'm no, you know, like, because you could design website, you could design a website, you know, that's what I'm not talking of, you know, I'm saying you will code. We didn't have people doing product design first, that will first design the website. No, like you would take the web and you would, you know, they will pay you good money. I'm not saying like now things have moved, you know, pretty much, but I'm saying like the evolution of what that was now, right, or that what that was then versus what it is now, right? What I'm trying to say is this: we need to start thinking of the kind of value we bring to whatever job that we are doing, right? If you are going to remain relevant at what you are doing, to be honest, it is up to you. If Moses is probably going to keep his job, it's up to Moses, because I need to see. I tell you, see, the reason why they sacked or they laid off 30%, 3,000 people, 6,000 people, was because they could not see the value that those people were bringing. So in my head, I'm now saying, I'm like, hey, you should think of the value that you are probably giving your employer as of today that will probably not make that guy send you, you know, away. So again, back to maybe someone like a product manager. Are you giving me more value than just writing actual PRDs? Because I already have something that can write PRDs for me. So think about it. What more can you bring, you know, to the table? And when he said something, I just, you know, I was telling him, I said, it's just $20, right? Versus paying somebody hundreds of thousands of naira Do you get? So we need to think, even as an engineer as well. Think about it. What value are you giving to that company? Yes, there's vibe coding now, even though, you know, vibe code with boundaries, right? But as a software engineer as well, you know, you need to think about it like, what more value are you giving to that particular company? Because yeah, for yourself, you can vibe code, right? You know, or you can use it as an assistant, you know. And someone was saying something recently. Someone said a particular company now, first level review is done by AI, right? You know, and it means that is one person's job less, you know. And at the same time, on the flip side, it means it also gives you more room to be valuable. I don't know if you get me. So what you would have spent hours sitting down to review and having to go back and forth and say, no, okay, go back and do this like this. No, go back and do it. Yeah, I can save precious time. And I have something else I can do with my, do you get what I'm trying to say? You know, something more valuable I can do with my time. I'll give another instance. Someone was talking about, there are a lot of, you know, maybe customer support tools going out here, trying to, and someone said something, said, oh, is it that they are trying to maybe take jobs from customer support guys? I'm like, no. What you do is, or what they are doing is, I don't know, speaking for myself now, is trying to make these guys do more valuable work. Transition away from doing just the, yes, do you get to be, so that's why I said it is up to you. You need to be able to find more value in what you can offer your employers. So, say somebody that could calculate before, you're no longer valuable to me again because I already have something I can do that calculator. But it doesn't mean that you will, you know, it doesn't mean that I should send you away or something. But if I see at that point you can't bring more value to me than being a calculator, right, I'll send you out. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, right? I don't know if that answers you.
He answered. So I went for which is around building AI products, right? What she currently does is building AI products, right? And maybe one or two people, as Jude was talking, is already like, okay, maybe I should even just transition to the back end of things, right? Because, like it or not, I tell people that AI has come to stay, right? This is not me, you know, casting myself, but I mean, there are times I upload periodically cautiously, you know, to review that is this English correct and whatnot, right? And I know that in our different, you know, spaces, we are probably looking at, if AI is going to take my job, why don't I just join the AI, right? So I think this conversation is for, or this question is for Bridget, and that is around, you know, in AI product development, basically, what are those things you think, or what are those places you feel that, you know, if AI is already writing my PRGs, right, and I want to go and be building chat PRGs once and for all, how does that, you know, basically go? So what does an AI product development cycle look like, right? And, you know, what are those roles you think, right, needs to be filled in those places?
So if I get you correctly, you're asking if AI is taking my job as a product manager,
not just a product manager.
Okay. What other value? What other value can I offer?
No, so I'm saying that if I see a job ad on Lovable, for instance, that Lovable is looking for a product manager, right? You know, what is the product development life cycle like? So how do you build AI products, basically?
Oh, okay. So again, I think it depends on where you're building, but I guess the whole process is kind of the same. So the first thing you would want to do, or in your team, right, is to properly check your data lineage first of all. So you don't want to use any, again, because I'm assuming you're building on an already existing model, right? Oh, okay. So I'm assuming you're building on an already existing model, right? So you want to ensure that you're using data that, you know, goes with what you're building. For instance, you're building for an African market. You don't want to use data populated for, you know, European market to avoid, you know, bias and, you know, to create fairness, basically. Once you have, you know, such a model, the next thing you probably want to do as a team is, again, depending on what you're building, you have your idea, you bring out your data that you want to use to fine-tune this model to basically check that data, right? And then you basically divide your data, right? You have your input and output, right? So if you're testing, for instance, you want to know, okay, I'm going to be using this data to test to see if this model performs well. So because I'm putting X and I'm expecting Y, right? So when you have all of that, then you work with your engineer, your AI engineer, right? And then that's where audio coding comes in, and then you do the coding. Of course, there's like a front end. It's like a long list, right? So I'll just try to carry us along. But when you've done that, then you now want to basically train the model, right? And then also test. So you need to have, so for instance, at Law Pavilion, right? When we train the model with this data, we want to have like the legal team test them out, right? And then as a product manager, you want to come up with your promptings, right? That tells the AI that, oh, okay, this is what we are trying to achieve. So behave this way. This is how you should answer questions. Don't answer questions that come off this way, you know, just to ensure that there's no hallucination and there's no bias, right? So once you have all of that, then you have your product, you build your front end to it, and then you plug and play. So in summary.
Okay, so my job is still safe. That's what I wanted to know. So yeah, basically one of the reasons why, you know, I asked that question is that so that we can know, just like Jude has said, right, you know, the different areas we can now start to look at, right, on the back end of developing AI product. But that would then lead to another question before my last question, which is, do you think, right, and I think anybody can take that, do you think at this point or at this level that we are in the old technology space, do you think HRs or team leads and all of that should make it compulsory for current staffs, right, to have some sort of AI knowledge, at least to some extent?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's become imperative that, first of all, I mean, individually, you should, by now, you should be obsessed with how you can scale your knowledge of what you do with AI individually. If by now you need HR or team lead to enforce it, then maybe you don't deserve to be hired in this age of AI. It's just a fact, you know. So yes, just to answer simply.
You're so brutal.
I mean, so again, because see, here's what I tell people. Employment is a contractual relationship. Your employer is not plucking your salaries from the sky. They also have to do a lot of work to, sometimes it feels like your CEO is just chilling. You call today, hello, so I'm in the US, and it feels like this guy just a flex. No. They do a lot of work. They take a lot of BS from customers, from prospects. And then the least you can do is to deliver the best you can, right? And unfortunately, if the best you can is not enough to take the company to the level that the company desires to be, then somebody who has been taking their life a little bit more seriously is waiting to replace you. So I think that is a hard fact that everybody needs to be aware of. Because one day, I mean, we've heard of PayPal Mafia. Recently, somebody published Jumia Mafia. Maybe there will be Termite Mafia one day. So, which means that some people will leave from here to go and start their own companies, right? And then you would understand that you want everybody to be at 120, right? And so, summarily, by now, everybody individually, you should be obsessed with how can I become better at what I do without anybody even reminding you. Then, but if you are not so fortunate as a team, I don't think you guys are like that. I'm just saying. If you are, or maybe, I mean, again, sometimes a team has different sets of people. So maybe some people need motivation. Then the organization should enforce it, right, and make sure that at the very minimum there is an AI tool that you currently use to get your job out faster.
Okay, so maybe from there, okay, before you go, okay, just take it. Don't worry.
Okay, I just wanted to like add to that. So just like he said, right? So as say a product manager, for instance, I think now it's very important to know that your strategic thinking is coming to play, right? Like you have to be more strategic. You have to have that empathy, right? The vision, all those soft skills, things that are intangible. They're very useful at this time. So those are skills also that you want to leverage on. And that brings us to like a very important concept, which is as a person, depending on the career or whichever career path, right, you have to have that foundational knowledge, right? So if you're a product manager, you have to have learned it. If you're a customer service, like you have to have that foundation so that it's easy for you to now know how to be strategic, right, and build on it. But if you don't have it, and like when they take AI away, there's just you, all right? There's no what you do, then that's where you have a problem.
Okay, so I think my last question before we then take it to the open floor would be that maybe I'm not adopting AI yet, right? How do you think I should get started? And no, there's nobody telling me that go and take this course.
Yeah. All right. So I think that because I've had this conversation about AI, it's a conversation I'm always very interested in, and that is also because sometimes I think that there's a bit of disinformation going on, especially by the people who are building these LLMs. So you listen to a lot. I think it was just recently that for the first time, Sam Altman came out to say, you know what, don't overly rely on ChatGPT. Yeah, it was yesterday. So otherwise, it's always been, it's going to all of that. So I think there's a bit of disinformation going on, and especially for people like us and where we live in Africa, our own faith is significantly different. So I like this topic a lot. Yeah. Now back to our reality, which is that, again, the level of exposure that we have in this part of Africa may not really give us the advantage to know a lot of the things going on in other parts of the world, right? So I think that the most important skill set, or one of the core important skill set that everybody must have, is inquisitiveness. You need to be inquisitive. You need to have a natural predilection for asking questions. And whatever it is, whether it is that you pray to your God or you get a career coach or whatever, you need to have a natural desire to just want to be better than yesterday. And that has to be innate, because the truth is, if you need somebody to motivate you, then you're already behind. And I have this newsletter that I just, one of my brothers did a small agent that sent me newsletter. It was an assignment I gave to him to know if the school fees I'm paying is worth it. So he sent me, like, he curates news. And then this morning I was reading something, and it just dawned on me again that I was reading the installment for today, and it dawned on me that the truth is the world has become a little bit more brutal than it used to be, because there is democratization of knowledge. So before, you needed to go to Harvard, Stanford, and all of those things to get access to some of the things that that they were teaching them. But now on YouTube, you can have access to some of these things. Even worse, that you can just type into ChatGPT or Google Scholar and then you get a ton of this access to the information that they give. I mean, of course, not everything, but largely a lot of the things that they give them there. What it means is that those people that already have better access to this thing, they also have the same access to those things as well. Now, that your university, your lecturer, did not even understand the course very well, right? So you're already disadvantaged. So it just dawned on me that the world has become a little bit more brutal, and the only way that we can particularly make sense of these things is to have this innate desire to just want to be better. Now, this doesn't have to be tied to your appraisal or your manager. You yourself just must be intentional about your growth. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing, which is a corollary to that, is if you, of course, then become inquisitive. How can I become better at being a lawyer and all of that? Then or at being a product manager or a QA engineer. And the next thing is, what can make me achieve that level of excellence that I otherwise do not have at the moment? Then obviously when you search Google or ChatGPT, it brings out a list of AI tools. Now here is where we now also hit a brick wall. You need to pay for them, subscription, right? And it's not everybody that can afford $250 for VO3 or $20 for even Cursor AI. So there is a model that I adopted with a few of my friends. So I'm somebody who likes AI research a lot, and when I started seeing a lot of the VO3 videos, I was very fascinated. So I called a few of my friends and we subscribed to VO3, right? We already did that for maybe Forbes, Times, and it's all of these magazines, so it was very easy, $50, and then we contributed just to test it for the first month. And after the first month, I figured, okay, you know what, it's cool, I understand it now, but I'd rather, spend my money somewhere else. But if it was something, if I were the man over there, and I need VO3 for my day-to-day, that might be a way for me to get exposed to that and learn about the capabilities of that and how that can be better. Now, I noted a few things in my notes whilst they were speaking. Let me just. So I said that a tool is currently mastering your strength, and that could be an advantage for you. So as we are here at the moment, somebody is somewhere building or fine-tuning a model that is going to do what you currently do a little bit better, right? So you need to know that. And then the unfortunate or fortunate truth about that is someone will recommend that's your replacement, because when the tool becomes better, someone will recommend it. Now that someone will be the person who is consistently on the drive to become better, the PM who understands that, see, there is now GPT PRD, and goes and tells the CTO or the CEO and says, you know what, why do we spend 5 days, 2 weeks preparing a PRD? There is a tool we can use. And then there is you, that they've been begging you to become better at writing PRDs. And then your next appraisal, we need you to become better next quarter. And the next quarter, you know what, that's the door. So somebody is going to recommend that replacement if you don't get better at at your job. So I think it's just very important for us to stay aware, of what the first thing is, you need to be inquisitive. The second thing is you need to become aware of the things, the tools that are currently able to help you do your job better, faster, before somebody recommends it to the CEO and then they show you the door.
Please clap for.
So I'm just going to add to what he said with, first off, you learn by doing, right? Always, you learn by doing. You always have to keep doing, trying out with what you're inquisitive with. But then how do you start with the doing? I would say for many people, hopefully many people here are already doing something in terms of maybe you're already being employed or you're in school whatsoever. The best way to get started with AI is using it for something that you're already currently doing. So I'm a PM, right? What are the things that I do as a PM? How can AI help me with the things I do as a PM? I'm a student. I have this maths class. How can AI help me with this math assignment or with this project that I'm doing? Or I'm a software engineer. How can this AI help me with this code that I'm writing? And then from there, you start to go deeper into, okay, it has helped me with this one. What can I do more with this? the very first way I started writing AI was basically I was using ChatGPT for what's it called, autocorrect, right? And then from autocorrect into how can I do more with this, and then inquisitiveness will lead you to how does this work from the back end. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to look at how this works from the back end, but that's what now led me towards how does this work on the back end and how can I switch this towards doing other things. Now, I basically have my own, let me call it, model or my own setup where everything is connected to it, my emails, my calendars, and all of that. So I literally type with my own local Claude, and I'm able to tell it, send an email to this person about this thing, and use that to set up an event for me on my calendar. Now I've automated my entire life. It reads my emails for me, sends my messages for me, it's tied into my Notion and all of that. But all of these things started out from me just being able to use that to write a piece of code first and getting curious about how much more I can do with that and then connect those things together. So I think, yeah, basically, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Sorry, so you said something very interesting that I just wanted to just write on quickly, which is about the building, right? So I think I saw something maybe this week, last week, where I think it was also Sam that was saying we've not scratched up to, is it 10% of what artificial intelligence, can do. We are still in the very, 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 very early days. I don't know if Jude can remember, we took a course on artificial intelligence when we were in school, right? So my point is, and I think maybe your final project was also exactly, so my point is, what's the difference? What happened 10 years ago versus now is someone just decided, hey, there's a commercial application for this thing, right? And boom, that was 2023. Yeah, November 2023, it was like the whole world changed, and since then, it's just been going up, and it's like everybody's eyes is now open to the commercial application. So what am I trying to say? I believe everybody here, you're a tech enthusiast, maybe an engineer. When you're doing that, you are in tech. It means you're a potential builder, right? What I'm trying to say is this. There are thousands of problems that exist that we all can solve, right? So beyond, will I take your job? Possibly, but why not, like you said something, maybe like the back end, but I'm not even saying be an AI engineer. That's not even what I'm saying. But they are already, I met a very interesting guy that said he has a product, and to be honest, is embedded into one API that does this, right? Another API that does this, another API. So basically just an aggregate, and he's selling an AI product. He's selling an AI product. He doesn't have one AI engineer. What he has is just software engineers that integrate into different APIs. So what am I trying to say? That all these things already exist commercially, right? Think inwardly. What can you build as a builder, right? That can also solve a problem, solve an AI-related problem. Just to also plug in. No, don't worry, I'll talk about that. But just pick something, solve an AI-related problem, like Jude's setup, for instance. It solves a problem for him. Why not, pick something for you, and build that possibly can become a $1 million or $1 billion project,
So just because of that, because when you were speaking, an idea came to my mind that imagine you were an executive assistant and then you build something like that for your boss. And and that just also made me just remember something, which I'm just going to say quickly, that the idea also doesn't have to be original. It can be somebody else's idea. So sometimes just go online. You can even ask ChatGPT. I think you mentioned it the other time that people are using ChatGPT to ideate. Go online, look at interesting things people are doing, and then if you have the capacity, why not?
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for clapping for me and the speakers. So I'll just take 2 questions, right? I think it's not going to be fair to just have them answer my questions around PRDs and product management alone. So maybe you're in sales or you're an executive assistant that wants to collect the automation tool from Jude. So just 2 questions. Okay, if there's none, okay. So that's 1. I won't take follow-up questions, so. Okay, 2. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You can also point to who you have. You can mention who you want to ask a question from.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael again. Okay, so it's I think we've heard so much about what AI would do, how AI would take jobs or replace jobs or create new jobs. But I think my question is going to tilt towards a recent white paper that Apple published, and it was largely around, what AI is currently doing is not reasoning, something around that space, right? And in a way it made sense because I'm also a com science graduate, and when we were doing AI, there were some practical like AI problems that you would expect an AI solution to solve. Like one of them is Tower of Hanoi, if I can remember, right? And some of the problems in that white paper that they passed to these models were the Tower of Hanoi problems, and it wasn't able to solve like at a very, very large case. So I mean, in my head, I know that it's okay. Let me just say that they are bluffing in a way, kind of. But I kind of want to hear from the panel. What do you think about? Because it's a pretty bold statement, and it kind of takes me back to the electricity versus gasoline fight that happened in like 1800s or so. So, are we seeing the same? Is this lightning striking twice? Is it the same deja vu?
Okay, so Awe and I are both like computer science graduates, right? And I read the paper. I think, so for quite a lot of things, yes, we talk about AI, and I think part of the thing is, Awe also said it, that we've just crossed maybe 5%. And I think because when we talk about AI, we imagine, the Hollywood movies of like Skynet, is it Skynet? Yeah, Skynet. And a couple of other things, Data Project and all the rest, right? What we currently have right now is what I refer to as pattern matching, right? The beauty about, and what started out with convolutional neural nets and everything, is the ability to pattern match patterns and observe. So first off, with vision, right? And AI seeing things and noting that this is a car and all of that, is because data has been trained on it to match that. If you see something with this pattern, it's a car. The fact that Cursor is able to write new code for you and generate this, that they fed it thousands of code to pattern match to a certain point. And then let's now take it to actual human beings and how the brain develops, right? We have a baby over there. How do babies learn? They learn from seeing, pattern matching as well. As you grow, your brain grows and your capacity to learn now increases. But one thing that you don't see is that, and sorry, I'm going to go a bit deep here. So the thing with how the brain works is also similar to how a computer works. You have a short-term memory, you have a long-term memory. The major things that we tend to, or like as we're talking now, our brain is actually processing quite a lot of data from things that maybe different sides of our eyes are seeing, experiences that we've noticed and all of that. And it's all being fed into the brain, processed, and pattern matching also happens. To get to a certain point where you have general intelligence is the fact that all of these data that you've learned and you've matched is now being used to create new data. And that's what the entire AI industry refers to as artificial general intelligence, right? We have trained enough data on this model and using this large computational power, which for us humans is our brain. We've trained enough data using this large computational power to be able to now generate new data by itself. We're not there yet. We're probably not going to be there yet. And I feel like Apple did that out of spite too, because look at Siri compared to ChatGPT. But for certain reasons known to them. Maybe they're telling us that, hey, we should expect Siri to be better for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't care. The major thing is that right now we're in a race towards what this would look like in the future. And it's also kind of why I said maybe sometime 10 years later we'll be talking about robotics and if robots will take our jobs, right? Because the part of AI that we're still doing is still textual, right? I'm still basically just typing to this. Very soon we might have Jarvis, like what Iron Man did, like what Iron Man has, where I'm talking to it, it's giving me feedback by voice. The next thing, robotics comes in and we actually have a full humanoid. And then from there, things now start to advance. So there's still quite a lot that is possible, right? There's still quite a lot that will happen. And every model that everybody has built for many fears is still being trapped into like a silo, right? We all are still afraid of what would happen when we feed all the data in the world to AI and what AI might do with it. So until we get there, for now, is to make the best of what we have. And make the best of what we have, in my own opinion, to your advantage. I mean, there's some people that probably want to better the world. All good for them. We would also try to do that as well. But for right now, I would just say, take the most of what you have with this infrastructure, with this technology, and then try to use it to better yourself and then your environment first before the world at large. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So the second question.
My name is Samson. My question just relates to data actually. So, because I think few weeks back, ChatGPT and some other AI, they malfunction for like some hours or some. So, my question is in two ways. If we depend too much on some of this AI, is it not going to be a clash like an internet clash whereby we are shut down for a whole week or a whole month before something is done? Then the second part is the exposure of our data. Many a times we have a lot of companies inputting a lot of data along the line. How are we sure we are safe and secure to the point that somebody outside there does not have the access to your information of what you are currently building or what you are currently doing? That is my question.
So maybe let me start, then I would also just pass it on. So something around data. I think it's written at the bottom of the bar, you know, where you put your input your prompt on ChatGPT. It says that you should not enter sensitive, what they call it, sensitive, you know, personal information, you know, into it. I mean, if you are doing that, that's your own risk, to be honest. They've already put a disclaimer there. And if you ever take them to court, they will show you that, you know, it is there. So, I mean, I'm of the opinion that, especially for, you know, what's it called, commercial products like that, you know, be careful the type of data that you feed it, to be honest, plain and simple. But at the same time, I was telling my guys when I think the week after, you know, Google launched View 3 or View, I dropped something on our Slack channel. I'm like, because it just dawned on me. I'm like, Google Photos, YouTube, like that's what we have been doing is we have been giving Google data, because how on earth do they know, you know, what a yellow Danfo bus, you know, looks like? Or, you know, you can give it a prompt to say, oh, Yoruba wedding. Do you understand? And it can generate a 30 seconds. I mean, you've given it the video already. You know, so my point is, you know, this thing is only as smart as the data that you give it. Do you get? And sadly, you know, we are the ones that have been giving it, you know, the data. I mean, you know, we keep our pictures on Google Drive. We keep our, you know, we use Google Photos. If it's an Android phone, everybody uses YouTube. You know, for instance, this is on YouTube, so you can ask Vio to generate, a loop event, and it can generate. So my point is like, yeah, we are the ones giving these things this data, right? And sorry, what's that? Okay. Yeah, and we are the ones feeding, and I'm not saying that you should stop using, any of these things, but maybe responsibly, right? Because that's the only way these things get smarter. That's the only way we can benefit, from it, So, to your second question about, I feel like in terms of sensitivity of data, I would advise, that let's, feed data responsibly. Whatever you don't want to be outside there, don't give ChatGPT, in my own honest opinion. I felt like there was another question. Oh, so in terms of, yes, ChatGPT was down, I think, but think about it. ChatGPT is probably just one of the many, commercially available, tools, right? And if ChatGPT is down, why not use, I think, Claude, Gemini, or they said DeepSeek, or even WhatsApp, Meta's, Meta AI on your WhatsApp, right? It's available. I think Grok as well. I've not tried Grok, anyways, but I think there's also Grok as well. So my point is like there are several. So except the internet is down, and then ask yourself, has there ever been a time where the internet was down, right? I think that answers your question.
Okay, so I also function as a data protection officer. So I think as you were saying that it struck a nerve. Okay, so first of all, right, I think that every company should have an AI policy, responsible AI policy, or an AI governance policy, whatever you call it, that will determine the extent to which or how your employees should use AI. So let me make a confession. As beautiful as what Jude was saying about the setup was, the data protection training in me was just like, hey, and that is because we are beginning to see some of those risks crystallize. I don't know if you guys saw recently, there was a picture of a lady that said, I don't know which of the AI chats she used, but said, put a tall, dark, fine guy behind me, and then he just put somebody's picture, and the guy came and said, wait, what am I doing behind you? So, and then you just see that those are, and I think it was Ghibli or something that people were doing sometimes recently. So all of those pictures that you fed into the system, they are now coming out. Maybe one day, you just find yourself on an Asian network. Yeah, so it's a very real risk. Something happened recently as well at a training that I facilitated recently on responsible AI. We did an experiment, and I won't mention the name of the company, but this is a real company, one of the biggest companies, tech companies in the country. And the prompt was generate a PRD for I won't also mention the industry, for a something, and it came with the name of the company, like that. The name, so that tells you that 1 p.m. somewhere is just loading and loading and loading. So they may seem remote, but these are very real risks, right? And imagine this. So yesterday evening, I facilitated a training on deepfake technology, and the use of generative adversarial networks and all of that. And one of the things that when I was preparing for the training, one of the things that struck me was, so now we have synthetic audio, video, image, voice, everything. So everything that you need to complete an entire phishing attack is clear. Multi-layered threat attack, clear, simple. Now, so this was the scenario. I am the CEO of a company. Somebody has hacked my account, and they've sent you an email, a phishing email that you did not know, telling you, telling Jude's EA to send me 200 million, right? No, let me not use Jude. So I'm a CEO of so I'm a CEO of a company. Somebody has hacked my account, telling my finance officer to send 200 million to somebody. And then of course, as a savvy finance officer, you're like, oh no, this can't be Dolapo, right? Then you call me. But guess what? My WhatsApp has also been hacked. And somebody has used synthetic audio to make that call. And then when they pick the call, it sounds exactly like me. And you feel like, maybe it's not Dolapo, right? So you then call me on video call. Guess what? It's also deepfake, right? These are real life scenarios. There's a movie, G20. I don't know if anybody has seen it. Real life. Those things are now closer to us than, we thought. So I think the point I'm just trying to make is, unfortunately though, we've already fed a lot of data into these systems. So maybe some people are just hearing it for the first time that you can actually turn off there's a part on GPT, for example, that tells you turn off if you don't want us to train the model with your data, right? If you don't know that it's there in your settings, so just turn it off. So that's the first thing that I do. What did you say? Yeah, I was going to go there. So there is currently a case, anonymous. So there's currently a case against ChatGPT in the US. I think it was filed by, Times or New York Magazine. It was a violation of that particular rule, but at least you can give yourself a sense of you being security conscious. But that is just one thing. Like what we say in the security space, security is a multi-layer thing. So you don't just do one thing and think you are safe. Another thing is you pseudonymize whatever data you are feeding into the system. So instead of saying draft a PRD for Sotel, right? Draft a PRD for Sotel to be used by TEMI. You can say draft a PRD for a global network, internet, something, to be used by a product, by that you wouldn't have given all the specifics, so that also helps. Then the third thing is, if you can think about it by yourself, I think it's better to not use, or if you think it is very sensitive, it's best to avoid feeding it into the system. One thing you should never do is feed the exact company proprietary documents into any AI system. As a matter of fact, you should be sacked immediately you do that. And the reason is this: somebody somewhere is going to use that, right? What the company has, labored for, is going to use that to freely train a model, and then your company is losing out on its proprietary information. So it's very important that you take all of these guardrails, and if you can as well, I think lastly, if you can, where you can, also subscribe. Whatever is free, they say in the internet, if it is free, you are the product, right? So if you can also subscribe, try to subscribe. For subscription customers or users, there is a higher level of protection. So I think those are just the things I'll just say on that.
Thank you. So I saw a hand raised at the back, and I'll take just that last hand. Last question.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much. It has really been an enlightening session. One thing that I see that has been consistent among all the speakers is the emphasis on people upscaling, right? So last week I was on Sharon Hardman's page, and I saw a post about a company, and the advert was this: stop employing humans. This is the era of AI. Now, the company is called artisan.co, and I was curious. I went on the website, and I saw that the basic feature that they had was business development representation, right? So I read all the different features, and I went on Google to check out what the major roles and responsibility of a business development representative is. The first search results gave just 3 roles and responsibilities. I compared that with the features, and it is exact same thing that artisan.co is doing. I'm a product manager, but now imagine I am a business development representative, and here I've heard that, okay, use AI to upskill yourself, and I've determined, okay, I'll start using AI, but now,
Amazon.co is basically marketing, right? And that's exactly why they took what anybody's going to see on Google and mention it as exactly what it is that they do. Yeah. They have 20. No, see, all of this thing is marketing. Look, let me. The beautiful thing about marketing is that, right? The beautiful thing about marketing is that you don't have to be, for lack of a better word, you don't have to be factually correct. You don't have to be exact. You just have to give that impression. Now, again, when somebody says, we have 20 times, they might not even mean that they have 20 times the number of people that they're servicing. It might just be, we have 20 times the number of leads, 20 times the number of people that we are talking to, that we are trying to sell this market. Like, see, I love marketing people for one thing, and I always say that the ability to craft a narrative, probably that's the one thing that maybe AI can't take yet. But the ability to craft a narrative with however little data as possible that you have is the most beautiful thing for marketing people. You know how it's kind of like when somebody's toasting you and then everything that you're saying is just hitting right. That's exactly what marketing is. But, that aside, right, to a business development person and to all the things that have been said here, the first three things starts with business development is basically, it encompasses quite a lot of things. So when you say the first three things that you saw on Google, right, that's exactly what they put. It's their way of marketing themselves. When you talk about business development encompasses sales, marketing, in some instance, analytics. See, all of these are, in some instances, legal. Because it also even depends on the industry that you're in. So business development, growth, you see all these terms. The crazy thing about, let me say terms, departments like this, and especially because they're quite new terms, like these, let me say departments or these roles didn't exist 20 years ago. They now become very vague, meaning that it can encompass so many things. For example, it's not like if somebody says I'm in finance. Finance means everything financial. Finance cannot be talking code. Finance cannot be talking product. But when you start hearing I'm in growth, or when somebody says I'm a growth person, now growth can mean so many things. Growth can mean anything that grows the business. Business development now is anything that develops the business. And so for you or for the person as a business development person, right, when you're now going into part of the first things that I usually say, when you're trying to upskill your person, yourself, there's always, I think people say there, you have mentors, you have those people that you look up to. You have role models, basically. And then you have, there's a third one, people that speak for you in open places. I know there was someone that wrote an article about sponsors. Thank you very much. So in those instances, as a person that is trying to upskill, to be honest, you need those three different sets of people in your life. You need mentors, those who you can go to for personal advice. These are people who you actually know. Then you need role models who you can pick as maybe someone who is a business development executive at Google, for example. You see people like that, and one thing that has happened in the past couple of years is that a lot more people talk about things that they do. A lot more people sit on panels like this, right? And the reason, or in their own instance, is kind of to give back, because they feel like if I had someone that told me some of these things at the time when I was in school, or at the time when I was, early in my career, you listen to those sort of people. And then also better to have sponsors in those instances. Your sponsor can even be your CEO, like someone who has seen value in you and can vouch for you in different places. These are the three things needed to upskill yourself, in my opinion. The AI part of it is now, how do you make yourself valuable to these different people? Making yourself valuable to these different people comes in different forms and shapes, right? To a mentor, if you're a mentee to a mentor, it's the fact that one, they see value in you. Maybe you kind of remind them of who they were when they were younger. They see the same grit in you. But if you were the type of person that always just came with questions and not, okay, but I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried that, to the mentor, you become stressful. Same thing to a sponsor. If you weren't providing value, the person wouldn't vouch for you. So all of these different things, just in my opinion, tie into like how you can grow yourself. Don't worry, that company is just marketing that they were doing. Don't worry yourself. Right. Thank you.
Sorry, I wanted to just also add that, yeah, I'm not saying anything serious. It's going to shock you. They actually have business developers as well as a business.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. It's been an insightful session. See you next time.
Can we jam our hands together for them? Thank you very much. Okay, so we're gradually getting to the end of the event. Okay, so please, for our panelists, please can you just go to the back? I want to just have a quick picture with you guys. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, so very quickly, I will bringing up a product manager at Temai, just to tell us some new products we have at Temai. So very quickly, let's jam our hands together for Benita Obafe as she steps forward. And please, while you are seated, we can just interact, just try and get to know the person beside you, ask for the name, contact, where you work, and let's keep the networking going. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Benita. I'm a product manager at Temai, and I'm here to speak on one of our really exciting products that we have launched. You can't hear me? Okay, how about now? Can you hear me now? Okay, great stuff. So I'm here to speak on a really exciting product that we launched called Sotel. So Sotel is our global travel data product, and it's for travelers, people that travel different destinations. I hear when I was here, some persons on our panel said something about traveling, and I would really love them to download the app. So we have it on App Store and Play Store. It's live. You can go ahead and download it. And one amazing thing about our Sotel app, the global travel data, is that you can actually pay in Naira. So most of these apps, you have to have a dollar card. And we all know how obtaining a dollar card here in Nigeria can be so hard and frustrating, right? So we have solved that problem for most of our travelers. Now you can pay in Naira with Sotel. We also have the B2B part of the product where you can use our APIs, right? Consume our APIs on your platforms and also provide that global travel data services to your customers. Yes. So I would like you to take out your phones, and if you can download the app here and also share it with like persons that you know that travel frequently. It's actually going to be a very great product for them to have traveling. What? Any questions? Do you have any questions on this product? Sotel is spelled S-O-T-E-L. Sotel. Does anyone have any questions? I see someone's hand. Yes, it's there. S-O-L. S-O-T-E-L. You see?
Please, my name is Olanike. Does it work like Waka Now or something?
Oh, actually, no. It's a data kind of, right? So you buy data for a travel destination you're going to, right? Let's say you're going to the UK, obviously on a vacation or anything. Your MTN or your network don't work there, right? So on our platform you can buy data and make use of it there, and also pay in Naira. Yes, right. The category is what?
Category on the App Store is
what?
travel.
Yeah, it's a global travel
So is
platform
it, okay,
product.
okay, that was all confused me.
Yeah, it's a
initially.
global travel data platform. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone? It's an eSIM. Oh. All right. In the absence of no question.
So please, let's try and, so for more information, you can always visit the website. So it's sotel.com. So it's a global eSIM for travelers and for remote workers. So let's say you're traveling to Morocco today, you're going to Zambia tomorrow or Rwanda. You don't have to buy a SIM there, right? The stress of buying a SIM, having to register the SIM, and maybe you're just spending a week in Gambia. Just imagine, you just have a ton of SIMs with you, right? So instead of stressing yourself doing that, you can just, from our app, buy a data plan that will last you for like a day, 3 days, 5 days, a week, and you're good to go. And trust me, we are one of the most affordable in the market, so please do well to use us, right? And interestingly speaking, so like I said, it's for people traveling out and going outside the country. And very soon, so some of you might be curious, maybe when you open the app and you see Nigeria, maybe you see 10,000 naira, like, right? So it's also for the foreigners coming to Nigeria too. They don't have to go through the whole MTM stress. So maybe you have friends or families coming to Nigeria from the US, Canada, wherever they're coming from. You can always download the app. Very easy to use. You can also pay in Naira. Pay in Naira, pay in dollars. Just bring the money. We're ready to receive it. Thank you. All right. So very quickly, we're almost done. We're coming to the end of the session. Thank you for staying. Thank you for learning. Thank you for being around. So I don't know, maybe in 1 minute, just try and ask your neighbor, your name, ask for the person's name, what the person does. Just quickly, 1 minute. So Pamela, please get ready. So just in 1 minute, just get to know the person in front of you, behind you, beside you, the person's name, what you do, the company you work for. You might meet a Google engineer here, a Paystack engineer, a Flutterwave. Just interact with yourselves. You might get a link to your next job, to your next 5 million naira job. Don't close your mouth, open your mouth. A closed destiny, Abi said a closed mouth can be a closed destiny. So open your mouth, ask your neighbor. Person in front, there's somebody in front of you, you never can tell. Might be the key to your next million. Please open your mouth and greet the person. All right. So quickly, so Pamela Ring. All right. So thank you very much, Dora. We'll still have more time to network and get to know ourselves better. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I would like to bring Pamela to just quickly just say some things around personal branding. To Pamela, the floor is yours. Can we jam our hands together for her? She steps forward.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Please, everybody should answer me. You know, some people, then they quick vex. Me, they quick cry. Hello, everybody. Thank you. Okay. So, today we're going to talk about branding, right? I know many of us here are in the tech field, and you may be thinking, why do I need branding? Why do I need to brand myself? But the truth is that we have products as brands, and we as individuals, we are brands also, right? So, first things first, you need to take yourself seriously. We're in the tech field, and I like to say that opportunities don't just lie there. Opportunities come to those that are visible, right? It's not even a talent thing. Now, how many of us know anybody that is not as talented as you are, but somehow, you know, they are getting called out on LinkedIn, recruiters are approaching them, and they're just like, I know this thing more than this person now. How come? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's important to brand yourself, right? What those people are doing differently is that they are visible, right? They are putting themselves out there. They are showing up. And it's your loss if you don't, honestly, right? Let me quickly ask a question. How many of us here has browsed our name in the last 3 months? Okay. Just 3 people. Okay. I want us to do something now. Just put your full name on Google. What does it bring out? Quick one. Just put your name on Google. What does it bring out? Are you pleased with what it brings out? If you are pleased, say yay. If you are not pleased, say nay. Please, you people should respond. Have you checked? Okay, I'll leave that for you to answer. But I'll leave that for you to answer. But I want you to think seriously. In the next 3 months, when you check your name on Google again, what do you want it to show? What do you want it to bring out? Right? Now, let me go to the next one. How many of us here, right, have created something for ourselves online? Say you are active on LinkedIn, you have a website, your GitHub is active. Just one person, 2 people, 3, 4, 5. Any more people? No more. Okay. Today, I'm going to encourage us all to be active wherever you are. How many of us are on Termites Loop community group? 1, 2, just 2 people. 3, just 3 people. Okay. It is very important for us to engage, right? If you want to put yourself out there, there are different things you need to do. One is that you need to document your journey, right? You're doing something, you're working on a project, you are learning something, document that. The second thing is that you want to show, right? What is the process? What is the progress? What did I learn today? What did I not learn today? Now, after showing, you want to, put yourself out there, basically, right? You want to update your bio. You want to be consistent. Because it's not about, oh, okay, I have a website, and then I'm not going back to that website until 4 months later. You need to document, you need to show, you need to be consistent. Now, there are 5 things that make up branding, right? 1 is your network, right? 2 is your consistency. 3 is your digital footprint, and that's why I mentioned that we should check ourselves on Google. When an opportunity comes today, would your name be mentioned? When an opportunity comes today and, they say, oh, what's your name, please? Yes, Michael. And someone says, oh, Michael is the best fit, and they are going online to check for Michael. Are they going to find any digital footprint about Michael? One takeaway that I want us to have from here today is that opportunity is everywhere. And when it comes to you, they shouldn't be saying, who is that person? When opportunity comes to you, that is not when you should be introducing yourself, right? When opportunity comes to you, you should be ready. And you can only do that by getting ready and putting yourself out there. Be visible. Visibility is not vanity. It's not also showing off. It is showing up. You do something, put it out there, let people see it. Others may see it as being boastful, but trust me, that's not it. You're only trying to be visible. You're only trying to put yourself out there. You're only trying to get known. The most talented people, some of them don't care about their digital footprint, and that's why they're still, cupped up in one corner. And you find out that even the people that are not talented are the ones that are out there that everybody's talking about. So why not you? You're talented. You have what it takes. Put yourself out there and you make a name for yourself. Now, Toby, please help me go. Yeah, go back. Yeah. So, what's that platform that you've been sleeping on? Now, everybody has different platforms for themselves. Some people it's TikTok. Some people it is YouTube. Some people it is LinkedIn. And then I know there are different fields on that, engineering and whatnot, right? It may be APIs you want to talk about. It may be AI you want to talk about. You want to choose your niche so that you're not confusing people. What is that platform you are sleeping on? I want you to think about that after this event also, right? Okay, so there are 5 things that you must avoid, right? One is that you don't want to be fake. You want to be authentic, right? People, when you are posting good things, achievements and everything, yes, you draw in people, but do those people last for long? Do they stay for long? The answer is no. You want to share the full story, where you failed, what worked, how it worked. You need to deliver value. Don't talk about yourself only. That is boasting. What are you impacting in others? What are you giving others? What can people take away from you, right? You also need to, have a niche like I mentioned, and then don't compare yourself to others. You're comparing yourself to someone that has 5 years of experience online or has a lot of digital footprint. The most difficult thing is starting. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start. 1 post a week. 1 post in 3 days. Just start, right? Please, let's go. Yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier, your work is fire. You are talented, right? So, branding is not vanity. It is visibility. When the opportunity knocks, right, you should be ready. That is not when you should be saying, my name is Michael, and then you don't need to be everywhere. Just be consistent. If you are posting once every week, post once every week. If you are posting twice a week, post twice a week, so that your audience know what to expect and they are waiting for you. Oh, Michael is going to post today. Michael is going to post tomorrow. I want to learn the mistake Michael made from this project. He's going to post it tomorrow, and they are waiting for you, right? Next, please. Yeah, so that is all. Do I have any questions? Thank you. Any questions? Okay, I'll take that as none. So please, let's quickly do a quick exercise. I want everyone to bring out their phones, right, and scan this code. In this code, you'd see the first link to rate this session. Honest reviews, please. Rate this session. And then in the second code, you'd see a free guide on how to brand yourself as a developer in 10 days. So I want everyone to also download that. Feel free to tag me when you use the guide, when you post online, when you decide your niche. My name is Oluwapamilerin Ayueniolorinda on LinkedIn, and on other social media accounts, you see me as YA Palm. Let me know when you rate the session. That is very important for me. Thank you. I'll be waiting. Is anyone done yet? Okay, 1 person. 2, 3. Okay, let's keep it coming, guys. Well, once again, I'm Oluwapamilerin Ayueniolorinda, and thank you for listening to me.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm just here to round up today's meetup, right? I hope that we all got a thing or two out of the meeting or the meetup. Okay, can you hear me at the back? Okay, this is better. All right, so I say I'm just here to round up, and I'm sure today has been very insightful. Some of us might be living a little bit scared for our jobs, but it's nothing to be worried about. I personally believe that AI is here to, help us to do our jobs better rather than take our jobs away. There's this research that I saw from McKinsey and Goldman Sachs. or something around Goldman Sachs around AI job replacement and all of that. And yes, it's true, AI is going to take a lot of jobs. From the whole research paper, they found out that in 2025, AI will take away 85 million jobs, but AI will also create 97 million jobs. So at the end of the day, right, it's not just going to take away your jobs, it's also going to create new job opportunities, new career paths, and the rest. I mean, this week was the first time I knew that there was a role known as Chief AI Officer, right? You know, there are very weird roles coming up now as a result of, you know, the introduction of AI and the rest of that. So all we need to do is, you know, embrace the tools, learn the things that we need to learn. Don't be scared. Python won't take your job. I mean, me, I'm coming to take AI's job. That's what I was telling people at the back. That I'll take AI's job, for just on a lighter note. All right, so this brings us to the end of today's Loop meetup. But please don't rush out. We have a little package for you at the back, right? Make sure you get your own before you leave, and also get to meet one or two people. I'm sure all the greetings have been greet the person by your side, greet the person in front of you. Now you can greet the person at the back. Make sure you at least get to talk to 2 or 3 people before you step out. And, you know, before you step out. Also, watch out for updates from us. So we are going to be doing more of community engagements going forward, right? We plan to put out videos on our YouTube channel. We also plan to, you know, start a podcast, because it seems like that's the new, you know. So we are going to, you know, have a podcast, and who knows, we might invite some people here to, you know, feature in our podcast, right? I think that is all. Enjoy the rest of your day. People that want to go for a party. Yes, and please follow us on Twitter. If you are not yet on our Slack community, please join. You can run to your one bell now. Bye.
Yeah, and we'll also be having one of our events, Tema Elevate, coming up.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention that we are currently looking for a front-end engineer, right? So if you are, if you write Vue.js or React, right, and Nox, you can feel free to reach out to Toby.
Just feel free. Yeah, thank you very much. You know anybody, right? Just feel free to reach out to moi. Yeah, so like I was saying, so we'll have one of our big events coming up very soon, Tema Elevate. It's coming up when? 2nd of August, so please, I'd like you guys to be around. It's going to be bigger, more interesting, more engaging, more enlightening, so please, we're expecting you guys there. So like I said, so please don't leave here without downloading our app, please. And don't leave here without telling your friends and family. So when you get home, please tell people. I know many of you have friends that have joined and friends that are planning to come back to Nigeria. Like, just please tell them about Sotel. Right. Thank you very much. It's nice having you at Loop by Temai 5.0. Gracias. Bye. So please interact, network, get to know each other, and have a wonderful time. Don't leave here without receiving goodies from us, please. Thank you.